So I just got done with a few days of riding in Hood River, Oregon, and decided to finally make my way out to a new trail that I've heard about for the past few months called Fear Loaming. Out here meeting up with Derek, Ryan, and Craig, who are a few of the trail builders that made this place possible. So we're gonna go ahead and head up the mountain and have these guys show me what it's all about.
My name is Derek Kidd. I'm a field marketing agent for Norco Bikes here in Portland, Oregon, the beautiful Pacific Northwest. I'm originally Canadian. I grew up on Vancouver Island, moved here a couple years ago. And since then, I've been really fortunate to be part of the trail building scene down here. There's a lot going on, a lot of cool stuff, and I think the pinnacle of all of that is this trail right here. This is Fear Loaming in the Tomek State Forest. It's about an hour northwest of Portland. It's a pretty easy drive, and it's a shuttleable DH trail that is amazing. So the beauty of this trail is it's got a little bit of everything. It's fully shuttleable, so you can bring kind of whatever bike you want. I think when Ryan first envisioned this trail, he thought it would be a downhill bike only. It's got a couple little climbs in it, and I would definitely say it's trail bike appropriate if you've got the handling skills. I ride my sight out here a lot. It's a 150, 160 bike. 29ers are really nice through some of the route sections. It's got some pretty big hits, 20 to 30 footers. And it's got some steep sections as well, so you want something that's reasonably slack. But yeah, if it's a trail bike you're comfortable on, I think that'll be fine. And if you do want somewhere in the Portland area to ride a downhill bike, this is an awesome option. You'll be able to open the downhill bike up and have a really good time.
So my name is Ryan McLane. I'm one of the original trail builders out here at Fear Loaming when it was conceptual and just an idea. We started on this process 15, 16 years ago and went to the land manager, Oregon Department of Forestry, and begged him for trails, basically, saying, hey, we're driving 2 hours in every other direction to go ride trails. And it didn't make any sense because in our rearview window we saw, you know, these beautiful hills behind us. So we begged for trails 16 years ago, kept pushing and kept pushing, and then after about 15 years we got well, it just might happen. We're going to put it in the plan and see if it gets approved. And so when it got in the plan, public comment period, the mountain bikers in this area just blew up. They were like, we need this, we've needed it for a long time, and hundreds if not thousands of public comments came in supporting this trail, and then we got the go-ahead about 2 years ago. So we've had some 40, 50 odd core volunteers dedicate themselves to this trail. Blood, sweat, and tears, made it their love, and they wanted to see this get done. I think we've probably had 150 to 200 different people out here helping over the last 2 years. And without that, we'd be dead in the water. We'd be up at the top in the rain and snow, still scratching away, cursing under our breath, like, is this ever gonna get done? So without volunteers willing to set aside time and buy in and really put their heart and soul into this, these things don't happen. They just don't. There's nobody out there just like, oh, I'll put $5 million into a trail and build it. It just doesn't happen. It takes people to do it. So we've been very lucky. So I think one of the coolest things about this trail is there's just a big top to bottom length and elevation drop. There really wasn't anything in the area. We had some 1.5 mile downhill trails here and there, but to get to big mountain type riding where you get everything in the trail, everything from steeps to flow to jumps, tech, all of that together, you'd have to go pretty far to get to it, in the Portland area at least. So I think the best thing about this trail for me is like you get everything. You can, if you like jumps, you're gonna have fun out here. If you really like tech and jank, you're gonna have fun out here. And there's just so much variety the whole way.
Hey, here we are. Fear Loaming. Yeah, what'd you think?
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So fun. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
My name is Craig Jensen. I've been involved with the Fear Loaming project for 8 or 9 years. Got involved just through knowing Ryan and riding with him and knowing what he wanted to do out here. And really wanted to be involved knowing the possibilities of the lay of the land out in the Tillamook State Forest, and knowing Ryan's vision and how he could build the trails that would appeal to a lot of people. And so that was something that I really wanted to be involved with, knowing that I had a lot of time to be able to contribute. We've had a ton of support from volunteers, growing from a core group of what I thought was going to be 4 or 5 of us, and it's just grown and grown in momentum up to 30, 40, 50 people showing up for build days on a regular basis. So we had that going for us, but we also had the support of not just the riding community, but local businesses as well. There are a couple bike shops that were really involved. There was Cascade Bikes who supplied, they paid for the trail signage here. There's Urban Wheeler that helped out with trail building equipment. We had Norco Bikes contributed quite a bit to just keep the stoke level going in terms of getting people out here. And knowing that we had the support of these community groups just kept the excitement going, I think.
So this is a pretty convenient drive from Portland to get here. So if you're visiting the area, it's about an hour out of town. And then once you get out here, it's probably about a 20-minute drive up the hill. It's really useful if you do want to shuttle this properly. You need 2 vehicles, or you need somebody who's going to drive you up and down the hill. You can pedal it. It's a long way. It's about 2,500 feet of not super nice climb. So expect to shuttle it. That's the best way to do it. We're also pretty close to the Oregon coast here, to Pacific City and the Tillamook area. So if you do like surfing, or if you want to stay on the coast, it's only, just under an hour's drive to somewhere like Pacific City, which is pretty cool. So this is state land. You are allowed to camp out here for up to 14 days. There are a bunch of sites. In the summer, there's sometimes some fire shutdowns, so you might not be able to have a campfire in the middle of the summer, but there's tons of space out here and it's absolutely beautiful. Would highly recommend camping out here. It's pretty cool. So this is a pretty new trail. It was really just finished a couple months ago in June of 2021. As such, it will get a little messy in the winter. The climate out here is pretty good. Really, we can ride all year round. This trail might be something to skip if it's raining really hard. You will leave tracks in the dirt and you'll rut it out pretty badly. But for the summer, for the shoulder season months, it's a pretty amazing trail. As we found out today, it does get a little slick after the rain. There are a couple corners that maybe don't hold you quite as well as I had hoped they would. But yeah, for the most part, this trail is very much a multi-season trail, and it's going to be good for use all throughout the year. Once it beds in a little bit longer, next year, it's going to be absolutely prime. So when you get out here, it is a little remote. Plan to pack food and water. There's not a whole ton of good food spots around here until you get either back to Portland or out to the coast. There's gas about 20 minutes over the pass.
So with regards to e-bikes, per ODF right now, they're not allowed on any of their single track trails. and we've just gone with their guidance.
So Fear Loaming is a single black diamond rated trail difficulty level. It's got double black level options on it. The bigger stuff is kind of tucked off to the side, so it's you got to really reach for it to get to it. So I know Craig and I, we both have downhill bikes and we both have enduro bikes, and we settle on the enduro bikes out here just because it's better all around. You're not really having to push a big, heavy, sprung downhill bike up a hill down at the bottom. So you got to know how to handle your bike to have fun out here. It's been the first year it's been out open, the whole thing top to bottom, and I think a lot of people heard about the trail, and we got a lot of people maybe who weren't well suited to know what to expect out here. You got to be intermediate advanced level to have fun out here. If you're looking for somewhere to learn how to mountain bike, you know, there's other places closer to Portland that's probably a better option, but we kind of tucked this away back in the hills really far for a reason. You know, we don't want people just stumbling upon it, like, you know, learning how to do a beginner level training session out here.
One of the cool things about Fear is the fact that you can kind of session different sections of it. The top 3 sections come out to a gravel pile, and so it's possible to go to the top and ride down to the gravel pile and then go back up and ride a section. The trail's actually divided into 6 different segments, and you can ride through those different segments because each of them have a little bit different flavor, but they all flow really well together. But there is the ability to be able to ride a different section and then maybe skip over something or go back and rewrite it, because it's very accessible in terms of how close it is to forest roads and being able to shuttle up and down it or ride up and down the road. If that floats your boat too, you can do that.
All right, so that was Fear and Loaming. Super awesome trail. These guys have put a ton of work in. Really cool to see a first year trail just riding that well. And yeah, can't thank these guys enough for showing me around, and looking forward to the next time I'm out this way.
So if you want to get involved, we would love to have you. There's always a need for more volunteers. You can look us up on Facebook. It's the Fear and Loaming support group. We also have an affiliation with the West Side Trail Federation. They have a Facebook page as well. But the easiest way to get in the know, to get dialed in if you want to know when build days are going to be taking place, or just afternoon maintenance, is the best way to do that is to look us up on the Facebook Fear and Loaming support page.